A very little known fact is a water cycle that happens within human civilization. Someone takes that clean water, treats it, we can drink it and use it, and then we put it down the drain, and ultimately it has to be cleaned again before it's put back into the creek. That is what we do here at Johnson County Wastewater. We take the water that is flushed down the sewers from each home and business, we pump it out of the ground, we screen it to take big material out, and we bring it to the first process here, commonly referred to as primary sedimentation. While the core business is treating the water for return to the environment, there's always residuals or solids left from the treatment process. Those solids have to be treated further. In the case of this treatment plant, we digest the solids. And in digesting the solids, they break down very similar to how natural gas or oil is created. Organic material is broken down without oxygen and creates natural gas or methane. The heart of the wastewater treatment process is a secondary treatment process. This is where we mimic nature, what would have happened out in the creek or in the river, but we do it under a controlled and regulated environment. Here is the most advanced wastewater treatment process where we remove nitrogen and phosphorus from the water to keep it out of the creeks and rivers from growing algae. The secondary process regulates and controls, one, the population of the microbiology by wasting or taking some of it out. It also regulates the amount of oxygen that the biology needs. Just like you and I, we need oxygen, but in certain cases we don't need oxygen. So we recycle it or move it around into conditions with oxygen and without oxygen. That is in order to remove the nitrogen and phosphorus. But with the new project, we are able to burn that methane and generate electricity and heat, or combine heat and power.
This is a GE General Electric Jenbacher cogeneration unit. It's basically just a generator driven by a gas engine, and by gas I mean it can run either on natural gas or methane or a combination of both. We're powering approximately 2/3 of the plant per day when the generators are operating at peak efficiency. This is a FOG building. FOG stands for fats, oils, grease. And what this is for, this is a receiving station. Tanker trucks pull in here, they offload their product. It's stored in 3 tanks back here. Each tank holds 15,000 gallons. And then we feed what's in the tanks to our digester system, and it enhances gas production of methane.
After the wastewater treatment process, there are solids that are created. These solids must be disposed of or gotten rid of. When the biology exhausts all the methane gas out of it, the solids need to be disposed of. Here, we are at the belt filter press room, where we squeeze out the solids between several belts, take out as much water as we can. We start with about 99.5% water, and we end up with about 80% water or 20% solids that are ultimately disposed of. The solids then go to farmers' fields for spreading for agricultural purposes, so ultimately the water will go back to the creek, the solids will go back to the farmland. One of the last steps in the wastewater treatment process is probably one of the most important. Here we are at the disinfection process. We disinfect the water before returning to the environment, mainly for public health reasons. We use UV light, ultraviolet light, harms the DNA and the cells of the disease-causing organisms and prevents them from reproducing. Very similar to like a sunburn you'd have on your skin. This is one of the last steps before we discharge the water back to the creek, which will ultimately become drinking water for someone else downstream. The disinfection process happens in a matter of seconds, but the overall treatment process, the liquid stays in the treatment plant approximately 12 hours. However, the solids within the process on the liquid side are here approximately 10 days, and then the further treatment requires another 20 days. So the solids are approximately a month here in the process.